All right, everyone, the meltdown of snowflakes continues on the far left. They're really going to alienate the corporate neoliberals, I think, before they alienate any of the independent voters in the country. They're really hanging around the DNC's neck at the moment like a millstone, and the DNC is trying to swim, and it's getting harder and harder. Like, Tom Perez must be really nervous. I feel sorry for the dude. I feel sorry, actually, for the Schumers and Pelosi's of the party. They're like, we understand strategy. We may be corrupt, we may be corporate sellouts, but we know how to win elections. The social justice warriors, meanwhile, right now, what's their big line? Impeach Kavanaugh. We need to impeach Brett Kavanaugh. Some of the further left individuals within the Democratic Party in the House and Senate are saying, if we take the House, we're going to investigate him. We're going to do everything we can to get rid of him. Now, of course, you need a supermajority in both the House and Senate and also at the state level in order to get rid of Kavanaugh and impose the constitutional amendment paired with that they're talking about. Because it goes further. They want to impeach Kavanaugh, but they also want a constitutional amendment to artificially inflate the size of the Supreme Court. That is, if you wanted to, you could pass a constitutional amendment redefining the numbers in SCOTUS as anything you want. You could have 101 justices if you really wanted to. Would be a bad idea. I think it'd be political suicide for a party to try to rock the boat at that level, but they can, it is legally possible for them to do it. It's not legally possible within the framework of having the votes, but you know, understand. There's a procedure involved they'd have to go through, but they can go through the procedure. That being said, once again, the corporate Democrats are allowing the social justice warriors to work themselves up into a tizzy, which is essentially based in impotence, and the DNC will not be able to deliver for them what they want. They want Kavanaugh gone. He's been confirmed. They want to remove him now from that position. He's not going to be removed from that position. When it becomes clear to the millions of pink hat wearers that will perpetually protest and whine that Kavanaugh's not going anywhere, it'll be a lot like the Mueller probe. The Mueller probe has demoralized the Democrats more than anything else, specifically because, you know, again, when's the last time you heard of the Mueller probe? When's the last time you got any real Mueller news? There's nothing to report on. Manafort was the big fish that they managed to catch in order to retroactively justify their own witch hunt investigation. They try to go after Flynn, and Papadopoulos gets 2 weeks in jail. It's like, yes, what a hardened fucking criminal he is. It's so dumb. It's not going to result in Trump being taken down. But that was the promise. The Democrats, when the Mueller probe first emerged on the set, they're like, oh, Trump colluded with a foreign state to fuck the elections. Well, this is great. We're going to be able to impeach him. Or at the very least, it's going to hang over his administration so much that he'll be a lame duck from day one. But that didn't end up happening. He's managed to reform the tax code. He's managed to partially appropriate funding for the wall, although that's kind of it's 1/4 of a victory. Not enough really to claim anything. North Korea, certainly a good thing. The business environment now is certainly on the upswing. The economy at large, not just taxes themselves. He's winning these victories. And they promised that they would take him down and make him ineffectual and useless. He wouldn't be able to do anything. He wouldn't have a mandate to do anything. Meanwhile, the far left is looking at his admittedly on the low side approval, and they're like, why can't we stop him? Well, it could have something to do with the fact is that what the far left wants to do, impeach Kavanaugh, impeach Donald Trump, throw open the borders, eliminate national borders, get into a nuclear war with Russia, I guess, at this point, stupid shit like that. They're not going to be able to do that. They don't have the support. They're not going to have the White House. Let's say the Democrats retake the House and Senate. It's not going to mean anything. Go ahead and impeach Trump. He'll laugh it off. His approval will grow if you try to do that. I can guarantee it. Go ahead. Go ahead and impeach Trump. See what happens. It would be funny. Put forth articles of impeachment. The Senate's not going to vote to remove him. Yes, that includes most Democrats in the Senate. The neoliberals will have to vote no. They'll say, there's nothing he's done that allows us to remove him. We don't have the votes anyway. This is suicidal. Then the far left will keep doing what it's been doing. It will slowly continue to grow and strangle the Democratic Party. The Democrats would be wise to let go of the far left and let him go off and be Greens or whatever. Let him be politically bitter and wise up and still be ineffectual, turn on their own party and eventually become yuppies or something. That's what they should be doing. Instead, they ignore the business Democrats, the sane Democrats. They should be whining and dining, trying to pull them back away from the Republicans. And it's not working. See, the Republican Party could be defeated because they've hemorrhaged a lot of their more libertarian members to an increasingly strong, technical, viable third party. But the Democrats have hemorrhaged so many business Democrats over the Republicans that it evens itself out and then some. And they're not doing anything to stop that from happening. If anything, the Democrats' constant use of wedge issues and their ignorance on every economic issue is alienating arguably more of these people while also endangering their possibility of continuing to have all of the massive core of Hispanic and black votes that they've been relying on for so long. They're slowly slipping away. The Democrats fundamentally are a party on life support. It doesn't matter almost what happens in the midterms. If they win the midterms, they'll probably get so complacent that they won't try to reform, but the social justice warrior left will keep being alienated because they still won't have the power to impeach Kavanaugh or to impeach Trump or to do any of the other great things that they've said they'll do. They'll start their own supposedly independent investigations. They'll have the power to do that at the House level. They will find nothing. They will be inept. They will look like Benghazi-style witch hunts. They will culminate in nothing, demoralize their party, and fuck them in the ass. That's what will happen to the Democrats if they win the House and Senate back. At this point, it'd almost be a net gain for the Republicans if that happens. It's probably not. If we look at the polling with regards to Ted Cruz, he's knocking that out of the park. Hawley could probably win against McCaskill. That'd be a big one. At this point, it's basically a dead tie in Florida. It looks like Rick Scott might lose. By the way, I don't give a fuck because I hate Rick Scott. And in some of these other vulnerable races, we're looking at the possibility of the race between Feinstein, incumbent Democrat, and De Leon, her challenger, also a Democrat because of the jungle primaries in California system. We're looking at the possibility that she might be in for a difficult re-election bid for the first time in what, fucking 4 decades probably. How long has she been in the Senate? She's like a fucking fossil at this point. She's like in her mid-80s. She's crazy. She's older than Ginsburg, I think. She's nuts. She was like breaking down, drunkenly crying over the Kavanaugh confirmation. That was funny. But they're having a meltdown. Look, you've got millions of Democratic voters that can't actually get what they want from the Democratic Party. Since they can't also vote Republican, where are they going to go? They're going to become a bunch of Greens probably, or join the, I don't know, the American Communist Party or something. This will start the same tendencies, the same spiraling out of control cycle we see now in Europe. Really, the far left is far more dangerous than any perceived army of far righters at this point. I'll tell you why. If the far left rises up to try to undo the positive change that the MAGA populists, the center right really, are actually managing to accomplish, you'll get a true far right resurgence, and you won't be able to stop it. And then that will feed off the far left will feed off that, and they'll make each other grow. You'll probably end up with a stronger green movement and more factionalization within the Republican Party. What you'll end up with is a situation where neither the Democrats nor the Republicans can independently govern. Even within a partisan framework, they'll no longer be able to independently govern. The establishment will snap back together to defend itself. They'll be attacked from all sides, and they'll slowly wither. They'll get eked away by 2 new movements, 2 or more. Unfortunately, that will probably be more authoritarian than the establishment was. And then you at some point, the system begins to collapse. In some cases, this leads to great violence. It can lead to genocide, revolutions, things like that. In other cases, it solves itself. You get more of a classical liberal reforming of the system. Reformers come along like, okay, enough is enough. Thankfully, because we don't have a bad economic situation right now, that's more probable. Now, the problem being if the left does manage to take the House and Senate, we might see an economic collapse. Yeah, and necessarily they'll blame Trump from that. Oh, some random vague regulation he stripped back caused this problem. No, it'll be the fact that the Democrats managed to retake the House and the Senate if that happens. Destroying consumer confidence by saying, well, they're going to try to raise taxes. They're going to try to crack down on gun manufacturers. They're going to try to crack down on having better trade deals. They're going to strangulate everything for the next 2 years. Then Trump will have to defeat him again in 2020 on a platform of they've obstructed everything I tried to do. I gave you the tax cuts. Diplomatically, we're doing fine. I can't really do anything else because you didn't elect enough fucking Republicans. It'd be very, very funny. That's about all. Peace out.